A powerful, emotional 30-minute African YouTube storytelling script, now fully expanded to include deeper backstory, richer dialogue, psychological emotion, village reactions, courtroom justice, and a victorious ending. In the village of Umuoji, there stood a mansion that looked more like a prison. Surrounded by tall fences and rusting iron gates, it had once been a symbol of wealth. Now it was wrapped in silence. No one played near it. No one knocked. People said the spirits of the dead lived there. They were wrong. The spirit inside wasn't dead. She was very much alive. And her name was Amaka. Amaka was just 7 years old the night her life changed. It started like any other evening. She had just finished reading from her favorite book, sitting beside her mother on the veranda. Her father, Chief Achachukwu Ones, a man of power and pride, stormed into the compound. His face dark, his voice like thunder. "Take her!" he shouted at the two bodyguards. "MPA, what did I do?" Amaka screamed as they grabbed her. Her mother, Neka, rushed forward. "Uche, please. She's just a child." But Chief shoved her aside. "This girl is not a child. She's an abomination." Amaka was dragged, kicking and crying, into a back room she had never entered before. The door slammed shut. The key turned. That was the last time she saw the sky for 10 years. The room had no windows, only a small vent. A dim bulb hung from the ceiling. There was a mattress, a bowl of water, and a Bible. "Mama! Mama!" Amaka screamed for days. Her voice grew hoarse, her fists bloodied from pounding the door. Her mother wasn't allowed near. Each day a plate of food slid under the door. No voice, no face, just silence. Her father told the guards, "If she screams again, reduce her food." She learned quickly. Silence meant survival. Before the darkness, Amaka had always been different. She would say things, terrible things that later came true. At age 5, she warned the local priest not to enter the forest. He went anyway. He never returned. She told a woman her unborn child would not survive the week. 3 days later, a miscarriage. The villagers called her names behind closed doors. Ugbanj. Nwa Monwu. Her father, a traditional chief obsessed with reputation, saw her as a curse. "She will ruin me," he whispered to an elder. "If anyone finds out what she is, they'll burn our family name to the ground." So he decided to erase her without killing her. Neka never accepted it. Every night when her husband snored, she crept to the door and whispered through the vent, "Amaka, it's Mama. I'm here, baby. I'm here." She snuck in extra food when she could, slipped in small notes through cracks in the wall, sang lullabies softly outside the door. Her own body became frail. She lost weight. Her smile vanished. But her soul refused to die. She tried escaping with Amaka once. The beating she received nearly killed her. Her ribs were cracked, her arm broken. She was bedridden for months. But she never stopped praying. Amaka's mind began to shift. She stopped crying, stopped talking. She imagined people in the walls, trees growing from the ceiling, her mother turning into a bird. She gave names to the rats, sang to the spiders, wrote on the walls with chalk made from crushed stones. The only light she knew came from her memories. Every time her eyes closed, she imagined what the outside must still look like. Red sand, mango trees, children laughing. But the longer she stayed inside, the harder it became to remember those things. Sometimes she even forgot her own name. Outside the mansion, stories began to spread. "Where is Chief's daughter?" someone asked. "Oh, she's in boarding school abroad," came the lie. But some villagers began to doubt. They remembered Amaka, her voice, her questions, her quiet eyes. One woman swore she heard singing from the compound. "She's alive," the woman whispered. That girl never left. But no one dared speak out. Until one stranger came into town. Dr. Chidi Obi had only come to Umuoji for a health outreach program. But something about the village's silence around Chief's compound unsettled him. One day he passed by and heard humming. Faint, Fragile. Child's voice. He paused. He listened. He came back the next day. Then the next. Curiosity turned into obsession. He asked the elders, "Where is Chiefy One's daughter? She's abroad, but her mother wears mourning in her eyes. And the house smells like secrets." He called his cousin a journalist, then the police, then a human rights officer, and then they came with a warrant. When the door broke open, the entire village gathered outside the compound. And there, in the shadows of that cursed room, sat Amaka. She didn't flinch at the light. She didn't cry. She simply blinked, stared at the crowd, and asked, "Is this heaven?" She weighed barely 40 kilograms. Her hair matted. Her voice cracked. Her body trembled. Chitty ran to her, wrapped her in a blanket, and said, "No, this is freedom." The nation erupted in fury. News stations broadcasted her story. 10-year captivity in Umuoji became the headline across Nigeria. Chiefy Ones was arrested, tried, and disgraced. He tried to deny it all, claimed she was mad, that she wasn't his daughter, but DNA proved otherwise. And Amaka, now regaining her voice, took the stand. With trembling hands, she told the world everything. About the darkness, the hunger, the screams no one heard. The day she gave up, the judge wept. Chiefy Ones was sentenced to life imprisonment without parole. Recovery was not magic. It was slow, painful, full of setbacks. Amaka feared windows, feared men, feared nightfall, feared being left alone. But Neka, her mother, never left her side. She cooked for her, sang to her again, retaught her how to use a spoon, walk in shoes, brush her teeth. Chitty became like a big brother. He got her a therapist, took her to the beach for the first time. She cried when her feet touched the ocean. "Is this real?" she asked. "Yes," he smiled. "So are you." 2 years later, Amaka published a memoir, Buried Alive, My 10 Years in a Room. The book shook the continent. Schools used it. Universities invited her to speak. Her voice became a weapon, a healing balm for thousands. She started an NGO, Light from the Room, helping rescue and rehabilitate abused girls across Nigeria. Every time she spoke, she told them, "I was locked away because I saw the truth, but now I am the truth. And no cage can hold me anymore." The house in Umuoji was burned down by angry villagers. A statue now stands in its place, a girl with open arms stepping into the light. And on the statue's base is a single line. They tried to bury her, but they forgot. She was a seed.